Hey folks, Endall Beall here, and we're back with another Conquest video, a refresher this time, and I'm going to keep it to about 10 minutes. The very first video that I put out on Conquest was pretty well received. A lot of you liked the graphics and visuals, and what I liked most about it was in the comments section of my YouTube video, tons of people came up with really helpful and great and creative suggestions for how to make the guide even better. So what I've done is I have revised my guide based on all of that feedback and just incorporating all of that creative stuff in there. And I've published a new and updated version of that Conquest guide. This should help you save even more time. I'll leave a link down below in the YouTube comments section, in the pinned comments section, with the latest version of the guide. So feel free to check that out. But what I was thinking of doing in this video is giving a quick 10-minute refresher about 4 or 5 important points that I wanted to mention, which will act like a quick recap of the strategies that I talked about last time. Now, the very first thing, and I did briefly mention this in my other video as well, the most inefficient feats that you can do in the all of the conquest are the faction feats. They're incredibly grindy, very dull to go through, and they take up tons of battles, and you have to win every single one of those battles. So those are like the 14 battles with bounty hunters, NS, etc. And if you see the key cards associated with them, the first couple of them are really not worth it. They're just 5 key cards each. And you have to complete 14 battles. So personally speaking, I'm going to skip the first 2 sectors faction feats, the 14 battles with bounty hunters and night sisters. I plan to just do the Empire, Smugglers, and Geos during my second run through during the second week. Obviously, not all of you might be able to skip it if you're not able to do some of the other tougher feats because you don't have certain factions or characters. You might be forced to refresh and do these bounty hunter and NS feats. But if you've got a deep enough roster and well advanced, then this is something that you can potentially skip. Let's move on to the next one, which is the best way to kill the characters with the faction defeat kills. So you've got one of these in each sector as well. Defeat 30 with Phoenix, Rebel Fighters, Old Republic Mandos, and Bad Batch. And you unfortunately do need to have at least a medium tier characters geared up to get a decent amount of kills. But there are a couple of ways to get around it. One is you can babysit your faction with a GL or a really strong character like JKL, for example, and then make sure that you get the kills with the other ones. Like for example, the Phoenix one, you can get your GL, JML, JMK, or JKL, and then keep your Phoenix alive even if they're less developed, and then you should be able to get a few kills with them. You'll be able to farm a few kills with them. You might need at least 5 or 6 battles, but you should be able to get that done. The Rebel Fighter fleet, that you can do in the Talzin boss zone. So in the second sector, the boss zone over there, Talzin, that's the only sector where you have zombie. The only battle in all 5 sectors that you have zombie available. So you can complete tons of feats over there, and I'll talk more about that in the in a subsequent slide. The Old Republic one, you can take in Jedi Knight, Revan, Basti, and Jolie. They are Old Republic. They're the ones who are going to be doing the killing. And then you can take in JKL and Hoda, just to JKL to complete the stun feat as well, because that also is happening in Sector 3. And Hoda just to, give your Old Republic a little extra damage and heal. So that is a good way to approach Sector 3. Sector 4, Mandos, this is a tough one because it's not everyone has got developed Mando. So what you can do is you can again babysit with your GLs, Ray, JML, your light side GLs, or you could take in your bounty hunters if they are developed enough, boss lead, and try to farm as many Mando kills as you can. And then Bad Batch, again, not many people have got Bad Batch developed, but if you've got JMK or Ray, you can babysit your Bad Batch over there. Another way that you can use to complete these faction feats is Javas. If you're able to find a Java node in any one of these things, especially in Sector 4 and 5, where you have a tougher versions of the feats with Mandos and Bad Batch, if you're able to find a Java node, take it immediately. You can clear the Java node pretty easily with your Kylos, SLKR, OG Kylo, or Crew. Those guys are not affected by thermals. Once you 3-star that, then you can send in your Mandos or Bad Batch, and let them die with thermals. So the way that the feats work is if your own characters get suicided by the thermals, then it counts as a kill for your characters itself. So Mandos, you've taken your 5 Mandos, all 5 of them die due to thermals, you get credited with 5 Mando kills. So that's one really amazing thing about Javas. Make sure that if you find a Java node, immediately go after that. All right, next step, how to handle the mini bosses. Now here, one thing to remember is that the mini bosses, the ones in the center, they are a really great place to farm your small and savage feats. That's a part of the global feat. You have to kill 20 characters or win 20 battles with Maul and Savage in the team. So what the approach for this particular mini bosses should be is you take your regular full slide side squad and 3-star that zone. And then you need to come back with 2 more battles to get 1 or 2 key cards each, at which you can do full dark side and then one underside. So what the best way to approach this sector or this battle is you take in your Sith Eternal or your SLKR or your Darth Revan, and you take in Maul and Savage, who are also attackers, and then you take in another dark side attacker or just go in undersized with them. This way, you'll be able to complete at least 8 or 9 of the Maul Savage feats as you go through the 5 sectors. So this is the most efficient way to do these. For the others, you can take in your JKR, your Ray JML with Mandos or Padme. The light side ones, you can 3-star it however you want. But the best thing about dark side and undersize is you don't need to 3-star it, because if you've already 3-starred with the light side, you can go in, and even with an with a badly geared Maul or Savage, you can get a 1-star and still get maximum banners for the mini bosses. So that's the best way to manage the mini bosses. And then the final bosses, the way that you manage this is, sector one. It's a These final boss battles are actually extremely valuable. You can get in one single battle, you can get 5, 10, 15 key cards, which is a really high KB ratio. You can get a lot of feats farmed if you approach it with the right team. So pay attention to these battles. For the very first sector, you get 9 key cards total, and you can get all 9 with just one single battle. You go in with your Newt, Watt, GBA, Dooku, and GG. There are no tanks in this team. GBA, the brute of the GBA doesn't count as a tank over here. Your Watt can put the taunting tank tech on brute, and health or weapon tech on Dooku. And then you've got full separatists over here, and with Dooku you should be able to get the stun 20 times feat completed as well. If you're not able to get it done in one shot, you can always go back in and attempt the stun battle. But this one is the recommended team for the first sector. For the second one, this one is actually a really good sector to farm multiple feats, not just the 4-4-4 for the final boss battle, but you can also farm the Chupio blind one, as well as the killing 40 units with rebel fighters. These two feats, which also contribute, I believe, 4 and 4 each. Um, this sector, just one battle can net you at least 20 key cards. It's extremely valuable. The way you do it is you go in with Mon Mothma, Pao, Chupio, Kara, and Scout, or Chupio and any sector, any set of good rebel scouts, rebel fighters that you have, and then kill all the Night Sisters and leave only Zombie and another Night Sister, maybe a Spirit or someone alive, and then keep farming all your feats on Zombie. First, do the Chupio blind feat. Try to apply blind as many times as you can, and once you're sure that that blind feat has been completed, you'll by then also have probably killed 40 units with the Mon Mothma and Rebel fighters, and then most likely you would have also scored 20 crits in a row and recover 300k health. If you're not sure about recovering 300k health bit, what you can do is after you finish the blind feat, put it on auto basic, and then your rebel fighters will go in and recover at least 300k health. With about a minute left to go, then you can finish the battle, and you would have completed all 3 feats. So this is one great way to get at least 20 or so key cards in a single battle itself. If you're not able to complete the 20 crits in a row, take in the Darth Revan team. Sith Empire is very good with crits. They'll do a decent job over there. On the third sector, you've got Sidious in there. You can. This is also the sector where you can take in your Empire to get the Empire feat. So for the win with less than six special abilities or win without Jedi, you can take in your troopers and do basics, and you should be able to chew through them. If you don't have good troopers, you can also take SLKR. Bosk is there for the frenzy feat in that same sector as well. EP crew to apply stuns because that feat is completed in the sector as well. And then for removing 700% turn meter and winning with Mace Windu, you can take a Jedi team with JML. And Ben, old Ben has an AoE turn meter reduction. You can take Watt. He also applies turn meter reduction on his basic. JKL you can take in for the mass stun, given that this is the sector that you do the stunning feat 100 times, and then you take in Mace to complete the win with Mace Mindu feat. So that's one way to complete Sector 3. And then we have gain defense penetration up 20 times with in the mall sector, armor shred 3 times. You've got tons of characters. You can take in Padme or JMK lead, and then Gas, GK, Cat. All of these apply armor shreds. GMY is there for defense penetration, and then defeating 3 enemies in the same turn. Winning without using support, what you can do is you can take in your CLS without C3PO because C3PO is a support, or you can take in your SLKR without any supporting first order, and stack, and with stacking damage discs you can start building up the damage and then do one big AoE with either Chupio or with SLKR, and you should be able to defeat 3 enemies in the same turn. And the final one, this is the toughest one to complete, toughest one to win. Defense up 20 times. You don't need to win the battle to get this particular feat. You can do it with Wrecker, Old Ben, or Plo, or Barris. All of these characters have got ways to give defense up to the whole team. You can and then you'll have to deal 200k damage in a single hit and 30 out of turn attacks, which you can also do with Gas 501st with stacking damage, and or JMK Bad Batch, since you need to get Bad Batch feats completed over here, or CLS with stacking damage as well. All of these are great to complete the last couple of feats. So that's all that I had in terms of the video itself, the tips and the refresher. I'll place the latest version of the guide. There's a graphic that I've created which captures all of the things that I've talked about. It'll be there on the Gambit server. So if you go to the Gambit Discord server, I'll leave a link down below. There's a resources section where there's a ton of good resources that we've put together, including the counter sheet and a GSE comparison sheet. There's one particular channel for Conquest Guide. I'll have my couple of YouTube videos in there, as well as the latest version of the image for the Hard Conquest Feat Guide. So as and when I keep getting better ways to do things, I will have this guide updated in the Conquest Guide channel on the Gambit Discord. So feel free to go and check it out from there. So that's all I had for this video. Hope you guys found it useful, and all the best in your conquest. And I will catch you guys later. Take care.